The Living in Oneness seminar essentially teaches people principles, universal principles, practices that they can go back home and do, and also puts people through processes within the course itself, within the seminar itself, towards helping lead life towards greater order. Which means it works a very great deal on relationships, healing the hurt of people in relationships, and also equipping people to deal with this hurt on an ongoing basis, to be able to heal themselves whenever the hurt emerges. That becomes one central focus. If you took relationships on a scale, the easiest of relationships seems to be our relationship with our friends, because there's not many ways you can go wrong there. It's okay to be anywhere with a friend. And the toughest on the scale seems to be one's relationship with one's partner, because there seems to be a maximum amount of expectation out there, and therefore a tremendous amount of disappointment and frustration as well. Living in Oneness has an entire chunk of the program dealing with one's relationship with one's partner, healing the relationship, also equipping you with the wisdom to take this relationship to a higher level, to a greater level of love, to a greater level of connectedness. And in most of our courses we found a large number of people getting back to us reporting that that session has helped them in forging a lasting relationship with their partners. And another thing that has touched many lives of people is the issue of parenting. Living in Oneness also deals extensively with the wisdom that parents receive about how to bring up their child right from the moment of conception onward through the evolution of the child's life. And it also focuses upon leading people to their own inner truth, to making them comfortable with themselves so they can be at ease with the world, which is also a state where a connection with a higher presence becomes possible. In short, it equips people to deal with challenges that emerge on a day-to-day basis so they can create their own breakthroughs in life. The Living in Oneness seminar also directly and indirectly helps people become more healthy. For every emotion that arises within the mind, there's a corresponding chemical reaction happening in the brain. So whenever people go into emotions, unproductive emotions like excessive insecurity or stress, they're generating a particular kind of neuropeptides in the hypothalamus, which are flowing down into the body, into the bloodstream, into the various organs, and then damaging the cells therein. And when these cells reproduce, they go on to creating further disease. That's why so many people today prove doctors wrong. No medicine seems to work for them, and they believe that medical science has to evolve more to deal with bodies as complex as theirs. If people arrived at greater harmony, people arrived at greater love, greater connectedness, greater peace within themselves, then the brain would function differently. Different set of neuropeptides would be released from the brain, and therefore the body also would be restored to greater state of health. That's about living in oneness.
Can you now explain what you mean by oneness?
Oneness essentially means an awareness that there is no separation, that division is illusory in any sense and in every sense. Within myself, if I can see that the various fragments that I have perceived, I have divided within myself as being the right and the wrong, as being the light side and the dark side. If I can see this whole thing as being one flow, as all being as they are, not as an ideal, but an acceptance of whatever is there. If I can be at peace and in love with whatever is happening within myself, then I could say I'm one with myself. And once this happens within the individual, it's also possible that it can happen with anybody else around me. If I can be at peace within the seemingly contradictory aspects of myself. We all know that there are moments when there's tremendous compassion from within us. We want to reach out, we want to serve, we want to help. And we also become aware that there are moments when I become more important than the other. And there's a frigidity, a coldness that comes within us, and we don't want to reach out. Not denying either, not pushing out either, but to accept and completely be at peace with both. In assimilating these two sides within myself, I would also be able to do it with the people I love, with the people I disagree with, because I may love somebody because they're so loving, they're so kind. But they may also have another side to their personality, and that side could be an extreme possessive nature, or too much of a sense of individuality, whatever. But if I'm not going to look for a perfect individual in the other, but if I can love the other as they are, if I can know that they are what they are, then I'm one with the other person as well. And then it also becomes possible for me to connect to the other's pain when they are in pain, to connect to the other's joy when they are in joy. That is oneness with people around me. And this would automatically also extend to the world around me, where I would then begin to see that national boundaries, communal boundaries, ideological boundaries, all are very superficial. These are created for convenience, not that they have any intrinsic value. So I begin to experience a feeling of peace anywhere in the world with all the peoples in the world. And it's also possible then the same feeling extend to all of creation and ultimately to the higher presence that surrounds us all. So that is oneness.